Good day, everyone. Welcome to the second semester of this school year. This time we will have statistics and probability. I am Ma'am Jocelyn de la Peña. You can call me Ma'am Jo, and this will be our first discussion. These are the objectives of this topic. And these are the questions that you should be able to answer at the end of the discussion. Let us define statistics. It is a branch of mathematics that deals with the scientific collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data in order to obtain useful and meaningful data. So, statistics is said to be the most commonly used branch of mathematics. Why do we say so? When do we use statistics? We usually use statistics when we are doing census or survey. For example, at this point in time, it is campaign period for the election. We can do surveys on who is most likely to win or the leading candidate in a certain position. So when we get the opinion of the people on those survey, so we are actually doing statistics. Okay, so when we collect information on who is in favor or against the disqualification of a certain candidate, we are also doing statistics. When we want to know the pulse of the people in terms of the issues on with China on Philippine Seas, we are also doing statistics. Okay, so simple example will be when you are gathering information on the favorite food, subjects, likes or dislikes of your friends or classmates, you are actually doing statistics. On our part, as a teacher, when we do survey or gather information on the possible strands a grade 10 students will choose in their senior high school, we are actually doing statistics. So those are examples of uh, real life situation wherein you can apply statistics. That is why it is the most commonly used branch of mathematics. So in doing statistics, we have 5 steps. We have the collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. So when we collect, we should organize it, we present, we analyze, and interpret. So that is how we do statistics. Okay, let us do the first step, collection. So how do we collect or gather data? So the first method is through an experiment. So this one is commonly used in the field of sciences. Okay, so you do an experiment, you test your hypothesis, and then you make your conclusion. Another method of gathering data is through questionnaires. So if you want to know the opinion of people on a certain topic, you will make some questions, and then you will give the questionnaires to the respondents, and they will give you the answer. So this one is indirectly getting the information from your respondents. Now, this one, interview, is you can get directly the information you want from your respondent. So when you do interview, you ask questions, and then the interviewee will be giving you the answer. So this one is directly getting the information. So that is another method. Another one, ayan, survey. This is the one I gave you earlier. So you can do surveys, and the last one will be through an observation. So this one could be in medicine or in clinical field or in any other field. So when we cannot get directly the information from our respondents or from the subjects involved, we can do observation. For example, uh, during this time of the COVID pandemic, so all scientists and researchers, they study the behavior of the uh, virus, the COVID-19, so that they can determine the vaccine to be uh, administered to the person. Or in other cases, for example, you are doing research or case study on autism, on or autistic person, so you cannot ask them questions directly or do an interview, or you cannot write. Sometimes there are autism that cannot write, So all you can do is to observe their behavior. So those are the 5 methods that you can use in gathering or collecting data. Okay, is it clear? Okay. The second step is organization. So organizing and displaying data are important in statistics. So after data are collected, the data may not make sense just looking at them. So how do we organize our data? We can use tally or frequency table. So tallies are a way of counting by drawing a short vertical line to record each item as you count it. Okay, so that is one. Another one is coding data or by using computer programs. Okay, so data organization, it is the practice wherein we categorize or classify our data to make it more usable. So similar to a file folder where we can keep our documents, you will need to arrange your data in the most logical and orderly fashion so that you and anyone else who will access it can easily find what they are looking for or they can interpret the data collected. Okay, so after collecting and organizing our data, we can now present it. So the techniques of data and information presentation could either be textual, tabular, or graphical forms. So one way to present your data is through tables, or it could be using pictographs, or by using graphs, charts, maps, ogives, histograms, or by simply through text or written information. So this is how we present our data. Okay, so the next step is the analysis. So here you're going to use statistical measures. So it all comes down to using the right methods for statistical analysis, which is how we process and collect samples of data to uncover patterns and trends. So for this, how are we going to analyze it? We can apply measures of central tendency wherein we're going to compute the arithmetic mean or the average. We can also use the measure of dispersion wherein we're going to compute the standard deviation. Or we can have the correlation and regression analysis. We can also have the hypothesis testing and the sample size determination. So any of those statistical analysis that you're going to use, at the end, you have to evaluate it and you have to summarize it. So this is how we analyze our data. Is that clear? Okay, so the last step is the interpretation. So after applying any statistical measures or statistical analysis, you're going to interpret your data. How? First, you have to make a conclusion. Since you have already summarized it and you have used the statistical measures, so you have to interpret your data by making a conclusion or by making a prediction. So it is a smart guess about what will happen using the clues, either in the experiment, in the pictures, or in the gathered data. And the last one is you have to make your inferences. So this is a logical conclusion, just similar to a conclusion, which is based on your observation and prior knowledge. So, for example, the one that we have, I gave you example is having a survey on who is the possible uh, winner or possible leading candidate in the position. So after they gather the data, they organize it, they present it, they analyze it, and they interpret the data. So that's how when they are presenting it on televisions, we can say that this candidate is the leading candidate for that position. So that is how you interpret the gathered data. You make a conclusion, a prediction, or an inference. Okay, is that clear? Okay, I hope so. So that is the process of statistics. Okay, this time let us define probability. It is a branch of mathematics that deals with the occurrence of random event, or it is concerned with the analysis of random phenomena. So when we say probability, it means possibility.
So the outcome of a random event cannot be determined before it occurs, but it may be any one of several possible outcomes. So the actual outcome is considered to be determined by chance. As we go on with the topic, we will be discussing further how to determine the probability of a certain event.